If you're in your 60s, 70s, or even beyond, and you've started noticing that your legs don't quite have the same strength or energy they used to, you are not imagining things. Maybe it's harder to get up from a chair. Maybe stairs feel steeper than before. Or maybe your daily walks leave you feeling more tired than refreshed. Yes, aging naturally brings some changes to the body, that's a given. But here's something most people never suspect: a few innocent-looking fruits in your daily diet could be silently working against your leg strength. That might sound surprising, especially since fruits are usually celebrated as some of the healthiest foods on the planet. And in many ways, they are. They're full of vitamins, fiber, and antioxidants. But not all fruits are created equal, especially when you're over 60. Some fruits, despite their reputation, can trigger blood sugar spikes, worsen inflammation, and even contribute to joint stiffness or muscle fatigue. And when these effects build up over time, they can quietly chip away at your mobility, your balance, and yes, your independence. In this eye-opening guide here on Natural Healing Hub, we're going to take a closer look at 7 common fruits that many seniors eat without realizing the toll they may be taking on their legs. You'll learn which ones to cut back on, why they're problematic, and what smarter, senior-friendly alternatives you can enjoy instead, so you can keep moving strong and steady. So, if staying active, independent, and energetic as you age is important to you, grab your favorite drink, get cozy, and stick around. This could be the most important fruit list you've seen all year. And hey, if you're curious about what other everyday foods might be helping or hurting your health as you get older, don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments below. We read everyone and love hearing from you. The 7 fruits to approach with caution. 1. Pineapple, the acidic offender. Let's start with a fruit that often brings back memories of beach vacations and tropical treats: pineapple. It's sweet, juicy, and packed with a special enzyme called bromelain, which is actually known to help reduce inflammation. Sounds healthy, right? And in many ways, it is. But here's the twist: it might not be the best choice for your legs, especially as you get older. You see, while bromelain can have benefits, the high levels of natural sugars and acids in pineapple come with their own set of problems, especially for seniors. As we age, our blood vessels naturally lose some of their elasticity. They become more fragile, more sensitive to changes in pressure, and more reactive to spikes in blood sugar. When you eat a fruit like pineapple, with its high glycemic index, it can send your blood sugar soaring. And those repeated sugar spikes? Over time, they can damage the tiny blood vessels in your legs, particularly in the lower extremities, where circulation is already slower. This damage doesn't always show up right away. It might start with a little fatigue or a heavy feeling in your legs after walking. Then maybe a bit of swelling around the ankles. Eventually, that can progress to more serious problems like varicose veins, muscle weakness, or even neuropathy in people who are pre-diabetic or diabetic. And let's not forget the acidity. Pineapple is one of the most acidic fruits out there. For people dealing with arthritis, gout, or even just general joint stiffness, acidic foods can stir up inflammation. While bromelain might fight inflammation in theory, the acidity of the whole fruit can trigger flare-ups, especially if your system is already inflamed. There was even a 2020 study in Frontiers in Nutrition highlighting how acidic and high-sugar foods can amplify oxidative stress in older adults, leading to faster cellular aging and more joint-related complaints. That doesn't mean pineapple is bad, it just means it's probably better in moderation. 1 or 2 small slices now and then. Fine. But making it a daily snack? That could quietly be stealing your leg strength over time. So, the next time you're reaching for a sweet fruit snack, maybe think twice before grabbing the pineapple. There are plenty of other options that are gentler on your blood sugar and joints, and we'll talk about some of those as we go. 2. Bananas, the sugar spike. Now let's talk about another fruit that shows up in almost every kitchen and is often praised for being a healthy snack: the banana. It's soft, easy to chew, packed with potassium, and gives you a quick energy boost. Sounds perfect, right? Especially if you're on the go or need something before a walk. But when we take a closer look, especially from the perspective of senior health, bananas can be a bit of a double-edged sword. Here's why. A medium-sized banana contains around 15 grams of sugar. Now, that sugar is natural, sure, but your body doesn't necessarily treat it any differently than sugar from other sources when it comes to your blood glucose. When you eat a banana, especially on its own and not paired with fiber or protein, it can lead to a quick spike in your blood sugar. And what goes up must come down. That sudden crash afterward can leave you feeling more tired than before you even ate it. Sound familiar? These sugar swings may seem harmless at first, but over time, they take a toll, especially on your energy levels and muscles. That tired leg feeling? It could be more than just a sign of aging. It might be your muscles signaling that they're not getting the steady, sustained energy they need. A 2019 study published in the Journal of Geriatric Endocrinology pointed out that frequent glycemic spikes can impair muscle function in older adults, especially in the legs and hips, where mobility is critical. And let's be honest, how many times do we grab a banana thinking, this is healthy, without realizing that eating one every day, especially in the morning without anything else to slow down sugar absorption, could actually be draining our strength over time? Personally, I've found that when bananas are eaten in moderation, or paired with foods like a handful of nuts or a spoon of Greek yogurt, the effects on energy and blood sugar are much more balanced. It's not about cutting bananas out completely, it's about being smart with how and when you eat them. So now I'm curious, have you ever noticed your energy crash shortly after eating a banana? Or maybe you've already cut back and felt a difference. Share your experience in the comments. I'd love to hear what's worked or hasn't worked for you. Your story might help someone else watching right now. 3. Grapes, the fructose factor. Moving along, let's take a closer look at another popular fruit that seems harmless but can sneak up on you fast, grapes. They're small, juicy, sweet, and honestly, way too easy to overeat. I mean, who's really counting when you're popping one grape after another while watching TV or reading a book, right? But here's the thing, grapes are extremely high in fructose, and that can spell trouble if we're not careful. Fructose is a type of sugar that your body processes a little differently than glucose. Instead of being used immediately for energy, fructose gets metabolized in the liver, where it can lead to an increase in uric acid production. Now, why does that matter, especially for seniors? Elevated uric acid levels are closely linked to a condition called gout, a form of arthritis that causes sudden, severe attacks of pain, swelling, and tenderness in the joints. Often starting with the big toe, but easily affecting the knees, ankles, and yes, even the legs. According to a 2020 article in the Journal of Clinical Rheumatology, the incidence of gout has been steadily rising in older adults, and diet plays a major role. While most people associate gout with red meat or alcohol, high fructose fruits like grapes can also silently contribute to the problem. And because grapes are so small and easy to munch on, it's very easy to consume much more fructose than you realize. From my own experience talking with older adults, many are shocked to learn that their daily healthy snack of a big bowl of grapes might be aggravating their joint issues. It's not that grapes are bad, it's about portion control and understanding how they interact with our aging bodies. Moderation is key here, and pairing grapes with high-fiber foods or balancing them with lower fructose fruits can really make a difference. It's little hidden factors like these that can add up over time, so paying attention to them is one of the smartest moves we can make for better mobility and less inflammation as we age. 4. Watermelon, the glycemic giant. Now let's talk about a fruit that practically screams summertime, watermelon. It's juicy, it's hydrating, and on a hot day, there's nothing quite like biting into a cold, crisp slice. Many seniors love watermelon not only for its refreshing taste, but also because it's mostly water, which makes it feel like a guilt-free snack. But here's what most people don't realize, watermelon has a surprisingly high glycemic index and packs a pretty hefty sugar punch. To put it into perspective, just 4 cups of diced watermelon contain around 46 grams of carbohydrates, and 36 of those come directly from sugar. That's the equivalent of drinking a can of soda. Sure, watermelon is natural, but sugar is sugar when it comes to your blood glucose levels. And this matters a lot, especially as we age. Our bodies become more insulin resistant with age, meaning that we don't handle sugar spikes as smoothly as we used to. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition highlighted how high glycemic foods like watermelon can lead to post-meal blood sugar surges, which contribute to systemic inflammation. And chronic inflammation is a key driver behind weakened leg muscles, joint pain, and even vascular issues that impair blood flow to the lower limbs. From my own perspective, I've seen plenty of seniors reach for watermelon, thinking they're doing their bodies a favor by avoiding processed snacks. And while that's commendable, the reality is more nuanced. If your blood sugar is on the higher end, or if you're managing prediabetes or diabetes, eating large portions of watermelon, even though it's natural, can set off a chain reaction in the body that ultimately makes your legs feel heavier, weaker, and less responsive over time. So while watermelon isn't bad, it's definitely one of those fruits where moderation really matters. Pairing a small serving with a source of healthy fat or protein, like a handful of nuts or a little Greek yogurt, can help buffer the blood sugar effect and make it a safer option. In the end, it's not about cutting out fruits altogether. It's about knowing which ones serve your body well, and which ones might be silently holding you back. And hey, I'd love to hear from you. Do you enjoy watermelon regularly? Have you ever noticed how your legs feel after indulging in sweet fruits like this? Drop a comment below, and let's talk about it. Your experience might really help someone else. 5. Oranges, the acidic citrus. Oranges are one of those fruits that almost everyone considers healthy, and for good reason. They're packed with vitamin C, which supports immune function, collagen production, and even acts as a powerful antioxidant. Plus, there's something so comforting and nostalgic about peeling a fresh orange. It's like nature's little burst of sunshine. But, like with many things, there's a hidden side that's especially important for seniors to understand. You see, oranges are also very high in citric acid. Now, in moderate amounts, citric acid isn't something to fear. It plays a role in energy metabolism and even helps the body absorb minerals like calcium. However, in larger quantities, especially when consumed regularly, that same acid can irritate joints, particularly if someone already has underlying conditions like arthritis or gout. According to a review published in Frontiers in Nutrition, chronic exposure to acidic foods may aggravate synovial inflammation, the kind that affects the fluid-filled joints in your knees, hips, and ankles. And for older adults, whose joints are already more fragile, this can translate into more stiffness, more soreness, and less motivation to move. That's where the real issue lies. When joints hurt, we tend to move less. And the less we move, the faster our leg muscles begin to weaken. From a personal standpoint, I've known many seniors who start every morning with a big glass of orange juice, thinking they're making a healthy choice. And while fresh juice might seem better than sugary cereal, the acid load, along with the natural sugars, can be a double whammy for joint health and blood sugar control. That doesn't mean you need to banish oranges from your diet altogether. If you enjoy them, try limiting your intake to one small orange a few times a week, and pair it with foods that help neutralize the acid, like leafy greens or a handful of almonds. And always listen to your body. If you notice increased joint discomfort after citrus-heavy meals, that's a sign worth paying attention to. How about you? Have you ever noticed more joint stiffness or leg discomfort after eating oranges or drinking orange juice? I'd really love to hear your experience in the comments. It could be super helpful for others in our Natural Healing Hub community. 6. Green apples, the malic acid concern. Green apples often get a health halo, and it's easy to see why. They're crisp, tart, and lower in sugar than their red cousins. Many people associate them with weight control, improved digestion, and even better blood sugar balance. But beneath that refreshing crunch lies an ingredient that, while beneficial in moderation, may be troublesome for older adults when consumed too frequently: malic acid. Malic acid is what gives green apples their characteristic tartness. It's naturally found in many fruits, and is even produced in small amounts by our own bodies during the energy-making process known as the Krebs cycle. On paper, it's a good guy. It helps improve skin hydration, reduces fatigue, and even shows promise in supporting conditions like fibromyalgia. However, as we get older, our tissues, particularly muscles and joints, become more sensitive to dietary acids, even natural ones. Some studies, like those published in Rheumatology International, have highlighted how repeated exposure to certain food-based acids may heighten inflammatory responses in already sensitive joints. Seniors who experience arthritis, for example, may notice more stiffness or soreness after consuming a diet high in acidic fruits, and green apples are no exception. While they're not as acidic as lemons or oranges, their malic acid content can, in large quantities, irritate tissues around the knees, hips, and ankles, places where mobility is already under stress with age. I've personally spoken with many older adults who swapped sugary desserts for green apples, thinking they were making a better choice, and in most ways, they were. But when they started eating 2 or 3 apples a day, some began reporting unusual fatigue in their legs or persistent tightness in their joints. Once they cut back and diversified their fruit intake with options like blueberries or pears, many of those symptoms started to ease. It's not about labeling green apples as bad, but rather understanding your unique body and how it reacts. If you enjoy green apples, try limiting them to once every couple of days and see how your joints respond. And pair them with anti-inflammatory foods, like walnuts or a small piece of cheese, to help balance the acidity. Have you ever felt soreness or unusual fatigue after eating certain fruits, especially green apples? I'd really like to hear your thoughts in the comments. Your story could be just what someone else needs to make a more informed choice. 7. Mangoes, the sugar overload. Mangoes, just saying the word can make your mouth water. With their rich, tropical sweetness and smooth, buttery texture, they're easily one of the most loved fruits around the world. And it's no surprise, mangoes are loaded with vitamins A and C, plus beneficial antioxidants like zeaxanthin and beta-carotene that support eye health and the immune system. But, as we often say when it comes to nutrition, especially for seniors, not all that glitters is gold. One of the biggest concerns with mangoes, particularly for older adults, is their sugar content. A single cup of fresh mango has around 45 grams of sugar, and if you're reaching for dried mango, that number can skyrocket to over 100 grams per cup. That's more sugar than many candy bars. And while natural sugar may sound better than refined sugar, your body processes it in much the same way, especially when consumed in excess. Here's the problem: frequent blood sugar spikes don't just affect your glucose levels. They trigger systemic inflammation, which silently wears down your blood vessels, joints, and muscles over time. For seniors, whose recovery process is slow with age, this can contribute to long-term fatigue, swelling in the legs, reduced muscle efficiency, and even insulin resistance. If you're dealing with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, mangoes can quickly push your numbers in the wrong direction. Personally, I've seen this happen with several older friends and relatives who genuinely believed they were eating healthy by choosing fruit instead of baked goods. But after adding mango smoothies or dried mango slices to their daily routine, they began noticing things like heavier legs, increased joint stiffness, or unexplained weight gain. Once they dialed back and swapped mangoes for lower sugar fruits like berries or kiwi, they felt lighter and more mobile within a few weeks. So, while mangoes are delicious and definitely have a place in a balanced diet, moderation is key, especially as we get older. Try enjoying them as an occasional treat rather than a daily habit, and always pair them with protein or fiber to blunt the sugar spike. Now I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever noticed changes in how your body feels after eating mangoes or other sweet fruits regularly? Share your experience in the comments below. Your story might help someone else make a smart choice for their health and mobility. Healthier alternatives to support leg strength. When it comes to keeping your legs strong and your body moving as we age, some fruits can actually be a great ally if you choose wisely. While certain fruits, like pineapple or bananas, might spike blood sugar or cause inflammation, there are plenty of healthy alternatives that support joint health and muscle strength. Berries, like blueberries and raspberries, are packed with antioxidants and low in sugar, making them perfect for reducing inflammation and improving circulation. Studies have even shown that regular berry consumption can boost vascular health, which is essential for leg strength. Cherries are another excellent choice. They contain compounds that help reduce uric acid levels, lowering the risk of painful gout flare-ups in your joints. A small handful of cherries might just be the relief your legs need. Don't overlook avocados either. With their healthy fats and anti-inflammatory properties, avocados help keep your joints lubricated and muscles nourished, all without spiking your blood sugar. I find them especially great for morning meals, giving me lasting energy without the crash. Papayas are also fantastic. Their enzymes help reduce inflammation and aid digestion, which, in turn, can keep your joints feeling better. Plus, they're rich in vitamin C, which is essential for collagen production, helping your ligaments and tendons stay strong. Lastly, pears offer a satisfying crunch without the sugar overload. They're full of fiber, stabilize blood sugar, and are gentle on your digestive system. Perfect for a healthy snack. So, while it's important to limit certain fruits, there are plenty of tasty options that can keep your legs strong, your joints happy, and your energy up. What fruits do you enjoy that help keep you moving? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Conclusion. As we've seen today, making the right choices when it comes to the foods you eat, especially fruits, can make a huge difference in how your legs feel and how well you move. It's all about being mindful of the impact certain fruits can have on your body. When we're older, it's not just about eating for taste. We need to think about how what we eat can help us stay active and keep our muscles strong. The key takeaway here is moderation. You don't need to cut out fruits like bananas or oranges completely, but it's good to be aware of how they might affect your blood sugar or joints. Balance is everything. You can still enjoy a variety of fruits that support your health, like berries, cherries, avocados, and pears, without worrying about those sugar spikes or joint pain. And remember, a little goes a long way, so don't feel like you need to overdo it to see the benefits. Taking small steps toward making healthier choices every day can add up and improve your mobility over time. But if you ever feel unsure about your diet or health, don't hesitate to reach out to a healthcare professional. They can help guide you in the right direction, especially when it comes to tailoring things for your unique needs. Thanks so much for sticking with me through this video. I hope you found it helpful and that it inspired you to think a bit more about what you're putting in your body. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What fruits do you enjoy eating, and how do they make you feel? Drop a comment below, and let's keep the conversation going. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more tips on keeping your body healthy and strong. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.